welcome or welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, welcome. If you are not new here, welcome back, boo. Hey girl. I am so glad to see so many new faces on this channel. I'm super excited about building more and more on YouTube. In today's video, I'm sharing a life update while doing Get Ready with me on this look right here. So if you're interested in learning more about what's going on in my life and also how to get this little sloth glam for an everyday girl, stay tuned. All right, let's get into this Get Ready with me and life update. All of the products that I'm using will be listed down below in the description box. And of course, I will be chatting through this, so just bear with me. There's a lot that I want to chat about, and I don't have bullet points as I normally do. So we're just gonna have a good girl chat, okay? All right, so to kick off, I'm using my e.l.f. Power Grip Primer. It is almost done. Y'all can see this. This is a real Get Ready with me, okay? Some of my products are done. We're gonna be finessing, okay? There's gonna be a lot of finesse. But thank you to all of you guys who are new here on my channel. I have so many new boos who have joined me here on YouTube, and I'm so excited. I feel like YouTube is definitely a space that I want to excel in, so I think I got nervous in some of my previous videos. If you guys have gone back to some of my old videos, some of you guys have commented and you're just like, oh my gosh, can you share more about this? Can you share more about that? So thank you all for diving into my old videos on YouTube. I love YouTube. YouTube is my TV, so I really enjoy watching people's content and also just watching my old content back. To be honest with you, I was in a place where I was like, I don't know, just overthinking so many things. And I ended up going down a rabbit hole of watching my old content. And I don't know, it was probably the best thing I could have ever done for myself. Because I think when I was first trying out YouTube, I was just so like carefree about it. And I think that when you, we're gonna dive into some other things, but let's just, I'm moving too fast. I'm moving too fast. I'm diving into some things that I don't need to dive into quite yet. First update and first order of business that I really want to chat with you guys about is that I quit my job. So if you aren't new here, then you might remember a couple years ago, I posted a video called like, I'm quitting my career as a full-time influencer. Clickbait. I was basically just saying that because I was diving back into my career in marketing. If you guys don't know, I worked in social media marketing for quite a bit of time after I graduated my master's program. And honestly, I've done quite a bit on social media in general, just like throughout high school and stuff like that, but never for myself. And so when I became a full-time influencer, it was kind of off the whim. Like I wasn't planning to be a full-time influencer in 2020. It kind of just happened. If you guys want a story time about that, I'm pretty sure I have some old videos, but I just want to kind of like give you some context as to what happened. Initially, I actually wanted to get a career or wanted to get a job in influencer marketing. So I was working in social media marketing, content, and influencer marketing. I had a role that embodied all three things, but it was primarily social media management, and I was burnt out by that. So I was like, child, I just used the Sephora color corrector. This is something new for me. I've been color correcting recently because I do have hyperpigmentation. And so I've just been trying to be more mindful of covering it up a little bit more. And I just started using color corrector. And I'm still trying to figure out what my preferred method of using color corrector is. Because when I went to Sephora, the girl that helped me pick my color corrector out, she told me to use the color corrector and then, you know, blend it out, but then also use a concealer on top of it. And the concealer that she gave me was the Hourglass concealer, which is really, really full coverage. So I don't know if I like the way it looks when I use the really full coverage concealer, because I basically can use just the concealer and it looks like foundation all over my face because I'm covering such a wide area of hyperpigmentation. So I don't think I'm gonna do the concealer today. I might just go right in with some foundation, or I'll just use a little bit of concealer. Sorry y'all, I'm chatting through all of this. But anywho, when I left my career in social media management, content, and influencer marketing, I was working at a beauty corporation, and I wanted to actually transition to just working in influencer marketing. and I was already looking into roles in New York, all of that jazz, and had interviews for these different agencies in New York. I was really excited, thought I was gonna be moving to New York in 2020. And then boom, pandemic happens. Throughout the pandemic, I started kind of just taking my entrepreneurial desires and pursuits more seriously, because there was so much need for someone with marketing experience to kind of help these small businesses that were looking to either build new businesses or, you know, looking to expand across digital platforms. And so I started doing that on the side, and it quickly took over my full-time income. So I ended up kind of diving right into full-time entrepreneurship with my social media agency called The House of Influence. And after I kind of dove into that, well, while I was diving into that, I was also taking my content personally very seriously. So that quickly brought me to gaining partnerships as a content creator and influencer, and I was able to kind of slow down on my business of like managing people's social media and also like just providing different digital services to small businesses and personal brands, and I kind of focused more on being a content creator. So all that to say, I was a content creator full-time for 2 years, and I loved it. However, it was a very isolating career, and it is a very isolating career. It's very lonely if you don't have anyone else around you doing this, or if you don't have anyone that you speak to on a day-to-day that's also doing this. So I mentioned that I may not do the concealer around my face today, so I'm actually just gonna go in with the Bobbi Brown Weightless Skin Foundation. This is new by them, and I really, really love it. So I'm gonna see how it looks with just the color corrector on here. This foundation literally looks like skin. Okay, so diving back into my journey. So 2 years into being a full-time content creator, I started debating whether I wanted to go back into pursuing my dream of working for an agency in just influencer marketing. And at the time, I was like kind of just doing my research. I did a few interviews. I actually interviewed with all of my favorite agencies, some of which I work with now as an influencer. And, you know, I basically just told myself, if the pay does not match up with what I'm making in my business, it already doesn't align. And then also, if they don't value me as a creator, I don't want to work there. So I turned down a lot of different opportunities during that season because I wasn't just looking for a job. I didn't really need a job. I was just looking for the right opportunity that would really, you know, allow me to experience the agency side of things that I wanted to experience, while also working in influencer marketing and being able to be an advocate for Black and brown content creators. Just really, there were a lot of things that I was looking for. I had a list I had written out and like made it plain, like literally was like, God, this is what I'm looking for. So I turned down a few different opportunities, and I guess later on in 2022, so this was like a while after even interviewing with some of these agencies, I ended up finding this opportunity with this company based in the UK. I was not even going to apply because I had never heard of them, and they were looking for an account manager in the US, yada yada. I went through the whole interview process, and I was their first hire here in the US to kind of help them expand their influencer marketing agency. And if you guys don't know, I left my job in May. At that role, I was managing all the campaigns and strategy, influencer campaigns that is, for quite a few different clients. I would say some of the ones that I was working with long term were Pepsi, Bumble, Trilogy, L'Oreal, Ralph Lauren, just helping with those strategies. And then there were other brands that we did like short-term campaigns with, and you know, I always kind of provided guidance as a creator to different opportunities and different things that came through. I loved the work that I was doing there. I loved the work that I was doing there, and it just really made me feel fulfilled as a content creator, but as a marketing strategist as well, because I truly believe that the gift of like marketing and strategy is in me. Like I truly believe that that was like, you know, something, it's just innate in me. And honestly, it kind of shows through even like my content creator career, and a lot of brands that I work with like tell me that. So it just was something that I love doing. I still love doing. It was the hardest decision to make to leave that job. What the foundation looks like, it's so beautiful. It gives you like this skin-like finish, but it's just like skin is skinning vibes. Like, I love this foundation, and I do like the way that it turned out with just these color correctors. So I think I'm gonna do that more often. Going in with my concealers, I'm using the Lancome Tinte Idole concealers. I really love these, and I'll have all my shades on the bottom of the screen as well, but I'm just gonna go in with one closer to my skin tone, and then we'll use a brightening one after. So as I was saying, it was the hardest decision to leave my job. I left in May, and it is now September, and y'all, when I tell you, life has been crazy. Like, life has been crazy. The day I gave my job notice that I was leaving, I got an email for my first brand trip opportunity with Lexus. I'm gonna be posting this life update in September, but I vlogged all those brand opportunities, all those things that happened in the past, and I'll be bringing them back because I wasn't on YouTube. I was planning to make my comeback on YouTube, but I had major issues with my computer. So all of those will be like Flashback Friday vlogs during Vlogtober, so just stay tuned. I will be sharing all of that content with you guys. So I got my first opportunity for a brand trip with Lexus, and that was in May. And that was after I quit my job. So it was just like one of those weird, like, okay, is this confirmation, God? Like, what's happening? Well, literally got that opportunity. I went on that brand trip literally the Monday after I left my job. At the time, my content creation business was really doing well, at least for, like, you know, someone who was still working full time. I was definitely earning over 6 figures at that point. So I was very comfortable. I never felt like I needed a job. I just really loved the work that I did. And I also felt like it allowed being an influencer and a content creator to be more of a hobby, which I enjoyed. It was like, oh, this is a great money-making hobby. I didn't really need it, but so I was showing up like, you know, how I could show up. And I appreciated that because I didn't feel pressured in any way. Whereas now, I can't say that I feel pressured, but this is my job. Like, you know, I ain't playing around, okay? Like, I have to get things done. I definitely think that I was feeling less pressure or less stress then in terms of working as a content creator, because it was very much still a hobby, although I did take it very, very seriously. So I would say that now I still feel like, you know, this is something that I'm really passionate about and it's my hobby, but it definitely is something that I take a lot more seriously than when I had my job. And not in a bad way of like I wasn't taking it seriously. I was definitely taking it seriously, but I think that at that time I was kind of like, Emmy, focus on what you can do because you have a very stressful like full-time career. So show up how you can, yada yada. Whereas now I'm like, no, we gotta strategize. We gotta like get back into gear, which was the way that I operated my business before as well. Like I was always very serious. If you go back to some of my old YouTube videos on my channel, you will notice that I've always been very like, you know, passionate and strategic and very disciplined in the way that I manage my influencer business. Now, when I left my job, I was actually really afraid that I was gonna lose that sense of just like, you know what, this is just a fun platform for me, because realize that when I was working my job, I grew 120,000 followers, I think maybe even more in 1 year. And that was just showing up in the way that I could. Like, it wasn't overly thinking anything. It was just showing up the way that I could. I wasn't doing weekly photo shoots. I wasn't batching a bunch of content. I was just doing what I could. And I was doing the best in my influencing business. So I think there was a part of me that was a little bit fearful of what it would look like if I left my job. And I prayed about it and just asked God for guidance and for confirmation of what he wanted me to do. And that's why all those little like opportunities that came to me around that time, I kind of felt like God was just trying to reaffirm, this is what I want you to do. This is how I'm ordering your steps. This is what I need you to do next. And so when I got that email for my first brand trip with Lexus, I was shook. Because I'm also not someone who like views their value in terms of like a brand trip or whatever the case may be. But I do think it's something to be mindful of, or to be proud of, that, a brand saw you as you know, as valuable enough to want to include in an opportunity like that. So I think for me, that's where I was at, and I was super, super grateful. Going in now with the e.l.f. brow gel. This one is really good. It's the one in the black container. It's really good. So since leaving my job, I can honestly say I feel like God has just allowed me to walk through a season of seeing the harvest, the fruits of my labor. So I would say that after leaving my job, I went on that brand trip with Lexus, and things started to pick up very quickly for me as I was full-time. I did not think that it was going to happen that quickly. I figured, hey, I'll probably still be doing about the same numbers, which honestly, I was doing really, really well as a content creator. I was not mad at all. To be honest with you, I think in the last year and a half, 2 years, I've just been so overwhelmed by God's goodness to me in my business. Because, you know, of course we can say like I show up and I'm disciplined and all those things matter. Like we do things, but at the end of the day, it's us showing up with our 5 loaves of bread and 2 fish and God multiplying everything that we're doing. I sincerely feel that in my business. I'm just using the same concealer that's under my eyes right now, that's close to my skin tone, to clean up my brows. Okay, so my brows are all clean. I'm just gonna go in and blend out the concealer now. I'm just gonna wet my beauty blender with this Evian water spray. So all that to say, since leaving my job, my influencing business has blown up even beyond what I could have imagined for this year. I set a goal for this year, and where are we? We're in September, and I have now surpassed that goal by over 6 figures, an additional 6 figures than what I was expecting. So after I left my job, one of the media outlets that I used to kind of consistently speak to when they needed someone to kind of share their expertise on influencer marketing and what was happening in the industry, Business Insider that is, they reached out to me to kind of ask me some questions about the state of the influencer marketing world and all those things. And I had let them know like, hey, I actually left my role, but you know, they still wanted to speak to me. They were like, we really value your opinion. I gave a lot of my professional input on influencer marketing on LinkedIn. And so I've grown a relationship with a couple of their different reporters. And she was like, you know, I really want your input on this or whatnot. I was sharing with her my take as a marketing specialist. I also was sharing with her what I was seeing as a content creator. And that just like raised some interest in her, because I shared with her, you know, how I was doing. You know, I basically just shared with her what I'm noticing as a trend in the influencer marketing industry, and how I was doing as a creator, and how, you know, as an influencer marketing professional, you know, what trends I was expecting to see in 2024. And she was taken aback by my personal experience, because at the time of her reaching out to me, and I am open with sharing, I guess I'm not fully open, because I feel like sometimes people can be weird about talking about income and pay transparency, but I've always been pretty open. So if you go back to my old videos, I've always been open about like, you know, this is how much I made for this quarter, because 1, I think it inspires people, and 2, I think it allows for us to really have a better understanding of how much we can actually make and being able to advocate for ourselves. So I'm a big proponent of that. But actually my friend Naz, if you guys don't follow her already, she we were talking about this on her live the other night, and just like how it can get weird when you start bringing up money, not to everyone, but to some people. But I constantly have to remind myself that like, when I was looking to get into the influencer marketing space seriously, I mean, as me being, sorry y'all, I had to change out my memory card, but the bronzer that I was just using is the Black Radiance. It's the foundation stick, and I would use it as a bronzer sometimes. Anyways, gonna go in with my brightening concealer now. And I don't remember exactly where I was, but I think I was just sharing that the reporter that I was speaking to at the time at Business Insider, she was definitely intrigued by my personal experience as we were talking about trends in influencer marketing and what I was seeing. And so she was like, hey, can I follow up with you for a specific story on you and your income? And I was like, yeah, I'm totally fine with that. So at that point, when I was speaking with the reporter, in my business, I had already generated $210,000 in my influencer marketing business. And we were about 5 months into the year. I think we were getting close to the 6-month mark because I had already planned to do a sit down video of an influencer marketing like update for you guys. And I just never got around to doing that. But I'll pop an image of that article here, and I'll also put it in the description box down below if you're interested in reading it. I'm sharing these numbers all for transparency's sake and obviously to encourage anyone out there that really wants to pursue this, or maybe you're already in the process of pursuing this and you're just not feeling like, dang, I'm not seeing the fruits of my labor yet. Just believe and trust there's so much opportunity out there for you. Obviously, if this is not for you, not your passion, I also don't want me sharing these numbers to make it seem like, oh, everyone needs to be a content creator. If it's not your passion, there's probably something else out there for you where you can build wealth, and I believe that for you. Pray and God will guide you in the direction and the path that you should go to build your abundant stream of income, whatever it is for you. But I remember when I wanted to start this out and be serious and take content creation seriously, 2 people off the top of my head that I can remember were very vocal about how much money they were making, and it was really an encouragement and kind of just aspirational to me, was Jaylee Savon and Maddie James. I remember just being like, take it more seriously. Stop being, you know, so lazy and lackadaisical. You need to be more disciplined, because it was a passion of mine already at the time. So it wasn't like I was just doing this for the money. I was doing it because I loved it, but also it was encouraging to see other Black women like me really building wealth from this thing. So I say all that to say, if this is something that you have been wanting to do, or maybe you're doing it now and you're just not seeing the full results of what you want to see, or maybe it's just you're getting paid, but you know, you just need that little push and that tug to say like, hey, there is opportunity out here. I hope that I can be that for you for sure. And if there are any questions, feel free to drop them in the comment box below. I have another video coming up that's just going to be like an influencer Q&A. Some of my followers on Instagram have already shared some of their questions with me. So if you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments below, and I'm happy to answer them. And I think that Q&A is going to encompass also like influencer events like LTKCon and New York Fashion Week, since I just got back from those events as well. I'm using the Say Beauty blush in Chili. I really like this blush. I just don't love the applicator, but the color of this blush is absolutely stunning. And then I like to go on top with a NARS powder blush. So with that, I feel like this has been a life update, more of like about my job and my career, but there are some other things that have happened as well. Like I got a puppy. My husband and I are actually going to be moving soon as well, because things have been going really well for the business, and that means that there's a lot more stuff that I'm managing, because with new campaigns, there's just always stuff in and out of this house. And so we have realized that we really want to be in a place where we could have like a separate storage. So we're going to move to another place that actually has storage units there, so I can specifically have, you know, an area just for my business as well. So we're really looking forward to that. But I will say this much, in terms of like my career and the things that have happened in this last year, I truly, truly believe that, man, God has his hands on, you know, everything that I'm doing, because I don't think that any of this is just me, like my doing or anything like that. I think I've been faithful for sure. I've been faithful in my work, and I've been faithful in, you know, the things that God has told me to test him in, aka tithing. I mean, we could have another conversation about that another day, but baby, your girl tithes on everything, every brand deal, every commission check. He's gonna get his 10%, period. And that's a conversation that I know for some people is uncomfortable, but hey, I just want to say that I believe in his word when he says, test me in this. I really do. So all that to say, with the career success and stuff that I've been seeing, I want to keep it real with you as well. Just because things are, you know, it looks good and, you know, all these things are flourishing, whatever the case may be, does not mean there are not challenges, that there are not roadblocks, and that I don't still feel like a small fish in a big pond. I often have to like talk myself off of a ledge of overthinking and all the different things, and I really want to be able to be honest with you guys about this journey, because there is nothing quite like it in terms of really making you have to see yourself and really challenge yourself and really get real and get comfortable with yourself than being an entrepreneur, but then also being an entrepreneur who has a platform in a digital space where, you know, you're often being perceived, or, you know, your career is based on people liking you, to be honest with you. Now I'm going in with the NARS blush that I told you guys about. This is the Orgasm Rush. I love this color. Love, love, love her. She's a fave. I actually think this is their previous Savage blush, but they just changed the names. I love this color so much. NARS blush in general is just like, ugh, y'all, are you kidding? Look at that. Wow. This is like the perfect like black girl color, especially in the fall. Love her. So like I was saying, I want to keep it real with you all. I don't know if you guys can see, but like I've been posting like, you know, weekly vlogs of like just what it looks like building this type of business on the back end as a creator. And I struggled in my last 2 vlogs. I struggled to really talk about my true feelings on my New York Fashion Week vlog, and I think I am gonna have a follow-up conversation about just the realities of like working in this business and sometimes how we can be our own barrier, our own obstacle. And I definitely think that in some capacities, while all things look good and I'm growing and all these things, there's still a lot of internal work that needs to be done in order to really, I guess, experience or to be to feel fully successful in this business and to feel fully successful in life for me, right? Like, this isn't everything. This is not the end all be all for me. I'm grateful for everything that's happening. But through this process, I feel like there's such a unique experience that you have with yourself and a level of self-awareness that I probably wouldn't have had at any other job. And because of that, I'm now able to see things that I want to work on and want to be better at, and kind of bring people along on that journey. But to be honest, I think that's been a hard thing for me as well, because I had massive growth in 1 year, where before that I had my same, you know, 15 to 20K thousand followers. Even before then, I was at like the same 10,000 followers for a while. And I feel like you kind of grow used to that community and you talk to them and you talk to them vulnerably. And I haven't fully gotten back to that yet. And ooh, I feel like that's hard for me to say. That's really hard for me to say as someone who, like, that's my heart. That's who I am. But I also realize there's a lot that has happened in the last year that has made me a little bit more just trying to process things by myself. And I don't want to stay there, to be honest with you. Like, I want all of these new boos, all of my new community members to see me and to see me fully. And by fully, I mean with what I'm willing and able to share. But that is a process, and I'm just having to be kind and gracious to myself and allow myself the time and the space to get there, to get back to being there. Ooh, Chile, we've been talking. Okay, let me get back to what I'm doing, okay? I'm going to set my concealer, my under eye concealer, with the Charlotte Tilbury. It's one of their pressed powders. I use the color medium, I believe. And I'm just gonna go in here, and y'all, when I tell you this camera does not want me to be great, it just overheated and shut down. But I already set this under eye, so I'm just gonna set the other. And I'm trying to remember what I was saying, but I guess all that to say that I'm just really working on some of the things that are not tangible, right, in this business. So like, I could share with you that, oh my gosh, I've done these multiple 6 figures this year in brand partnerships, but I also want to share with you the journey of really finding myself through this process, of really committing to my goals and being disciplined, or just being able to be vulnerable and transparent again. Like, as someone who was before, it's really hard for me to admit that right now I'm just not in that place, and I'm struggling to get back to being there. And I want to bring you guys along on that journey. I want to be able to look back at these videos and be like, you grew in that area, the one that you can't see on pen and paper, the one that is not quantifiable, but it's a feeling that you have. Like, I want to be able to see that through these videos, because I was watching my old videos and I'm not gonna lie, it made me really emotional. Like, dang, like I'm proud of that girl. And even though that girl wasn't achieving the numbers that she's achieving now, something about that girl's spirit, I want that back. Like, I want that back so bad. And so for me, that's kind of where I'm at, and those are the things that I'm working towards. And I hope that you guys are interested in joining me on that journey, because otherwise this is a lot to share, and I'm like, I just feel it's just a lot. It's just a lot to share. And I'm grateful. I'm grateful that y'all are here. I'm grateful to be committing to YouTube. That's a big goal of mine through the end of the year. I just feel like this is a platform where you can really see someone, like you can really understand who they are, and that is something that I love as a consumer, because I love watching YouTube, child. But yeah, that's one of the things that I am working on, or a major goal. I'm gonna go in with some bronzer on my eyelids. I'm just using the Fenty Beauty bronzer. I think it's in the color Mocha Mommy. I just put some on my lid. Keep it simple, sister. I'm actually learning to do eyeshadow right now, so let me know if you guys want to see that process, child, because one thing about me is I'm big on showing the process of learning new things. Like over the past 2 years, I've definitely, you know, leveled up my makeup. I'm not fully there yet, but I'm getting there. And I've applied for Sephora Squad because I want to be able to show the everyday woman that you don't have to be a beauty expert to invest in yourself and to want to learn and grow in the areas of beauty. Because that's me all the way. Like, I was watching one of my old videos too, and I was like, girl, I don't know if you just had foundation on, like no powder, nothing set. Like, there was no type of, you know, contrast to my face at all. It was embarrassing, but I was still very proud of that girl because she knew herself, and she had a bold spirit, and I love that. So just put some bronzer in my crease, and that works out really nice for me. I already have lashes on because I have lash extensions, but these lash extensions are really great because I can put mascara on them. Hopefully y'all can see this, but I'm gonna go in with the Tarte Tubing Mascara. I really like this one. Basically with these lashes, I just need to make sure that the mascara is not waterproof, because otherwise it's gonna be too heavy on my lashes and it won't come off. So I just need a mascara that is just normal, not waterproof. And I can put them on my lashes, which I love. Cause child, I don't know about y'all, but putting on strip lashes is super stressful for me. So we're gonna have to learn that. We're gonna have to learn that process. We're gonna go in with some face powder just to finish everything up and bring it all together. I'm using the Sephora Micro Smooth powder, which I love. It just has a really nice natural finish, and it doesn't do too much, which I like. And like I mentioned before, all of these products are going to be in my description box below with the shades and all the details that you need if you want to shop them. Now I have so much more that I can share about my recent trips to New York Fashion Week and LTKCon, but like I said, I think I'm gonna do a separate video for that, just so that I can really share all of my feelings, but I think I kind of shared some of it here. Gonna set my face with the dynamic duo of the Charlotte Tilbury Flawless Filter Setting Spray and the One Size Setting Spray. I keep saying the Flawless Filter Setting Spray, it's the Airbrush Flawless. So we do that one first. And now going in with the One Size. That is gonna have your makeup on all day. Going in with MAC's Chestnut Liner. And then going in with MAC lipstick in the color Yash. And then we're gonna top it off with Juvia's Place lip gloss in the color Dulce Latte. Right, y'all, now that is the face of the day. This is my simple, soft glam, whatever, natural, everyday makeup. I'm not a makeup artist by any means, but I hope that you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope that you enjoyed my life update. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments below. And I will be partaking in Vlogtober in some capacity, so go ahead and click that bell notification so that you are notified whenever I upload new videos. Until next time, bye boo.